Hello, it's Hamish and Hamish here. Here to talk to you about what is going to be possible now with the new unitary plan in places like, we're going to have some real life examples in Point Chev, St John's, Oraki, Green Lane and Newmarket. So we're going to look at some real life examples, and we're also going to have a little think about what you should look at if you want to, if you're buying, if you're out there buying and you want something that's like going to be awesome for the future. So this is Hamish Firth, and he is the director of Mount Hobson Group. He is like the guru, probably the man in town, to give you, basically get you consent to build and develop. I'm of course just a lowly mortgage broker, but yeah, let's start off. Hamish.
Hamish, thank you for having me. Exciting times. We're 18 months into the unitary plan, and I think what's really important for us now is that we've seen a document in words, and now it's starting to come out in practice. So we're consenting properties, and now they're being built. So we've got some really good examples
Yeah,
today.
so let's dive into Point Chev. So this is, a site in Point Chev, corner site, swimming pool.
800 square metres, zoned mixed housing suburban. So that's that common zone throughout all of Auckland now. The whole Auckland region, a lot of the suburban Auckland has been zoned mixed housing suburban. It's not governed by any density controls. So as you said, great corner site in the middle of Point Chev. Developer owner came to us and said, hey, I'd like to develop this site, what can I do?
And you came up with something like this.
Yeah, we did. So what was key there is that we kept the existing house. It was economically beneficial. It was in the right place. And those size townhouses, those two additional townhouses, separated and standalone, in conjunction with that third one, have now been consented. Construction documentation is underway now. I would say we'll start seeing that being built towards the end of this year.
And that zone, there's tons of them around Auckland, right?
That is the predominant zone in Auckland. That is the zone that in every suburb you'll see that zone. It's yellow in colour. It allows for two-level townhouses. It allows them to be joined together.
Yep. Just before you go on, there's going to be a link on this thing to lead you to a page where you can easily find those zones for your property. Okay?
Yep. So there's two ways we can do that. We've got what we call a cheat sheet, which can describe what those zones are.
I've already got that on that
You've
page.
already uploaded that.
Yep.
And then we'll put some links up for the various zones. So that's
now
fantastic.
let's head out to St John's. This is a nice looking site.
Exactly the same zone, so it's that yellow mixed housing suburban. It's slightly smaller. Once again, the developer came to us and said, what can we do? We came to the conclusion that we could fit 4 townhouses on there. They're all joined together. There are 2 levels. There are 4 bedrooms.
Let's have a look at them. That's what they'll look like. Wow.
Yeah, they're
Quite
160
fancy.
square metres. They're actually under construction right now. So it's a real life example that's being built as we speak.
And the neighbours, any consent or anything?
No, you didn't need neighbours' approval, and this is the new paradigm. So if you have a look at that property, one down in the map, you'll see it's got 2 houses on it. That was the old way of doing things, the old infill.
Yep.
I would say to you that 4 houses, the entire length of the street, could become the norm.
Like that. Now, if we head up to, you had one in Parra Street, which is, Oraki.
Yeah, so in the middle of suburb of Oraki, we've got, it's a site with increased intensity. It's the terrace house and apartment zone. It's the orange one in colour, always closer to blocks of shops or town centres or public transport nodes.
And here you've decided that you could get something like that done, which is quite dramatic, really. If we just look back, this is what we kind of, just a house there, probably quite a nice house there, and then boom.
Transformational, so you can go 16 metres or 5 levels. This is probably attracting a lot more of public scrutiny or public concern all around Auckland. But once again, this is what, we've had a housing crisis for so long, we've had no real supply.
Yep.
You can see that's a very good looking building.
It is, and it's going to be, that's not too much of a hassle, I guess, to develop. No neighbours and things. You don't have to get everyone on the street on the board.
No, you don't. But you're going to have a lot of concerned neighbours. But I think as more and more of these appear, and more of us understand what's happening, I think that people are going to be more happy with the increase in supply than the presence of a singular large building, because if there's two or three of these developed together, they no longer look odd or different.
Mm-hmm. And so if we go out to Green Lane, so this is out in Green Lane. This is, it looks like a quiet little street there.
Yeah, it's in between, it runs between Market Road and Great South Road, and once again, it's that terrace house and apartment site. It's 150 metres from the Remuera railway station, 50 metres from Great South Road, 500 metres from Green Lane Countdown, 100 metres to the best Chinese takeaways in Auckland at Diamond Takeaways. And it's Diamond Takeaways, well known.
Top shelf.
And so if you move to that next slide, we'll see we've gone for about 16 or 18 one-bedroom units, and it's changed from one house on the site to that. You'll also see there's not a lot of car parking, and what's being driven by price and by client demand is there are a number of sites where car parks are less of an issue. So where we used to have to provide two, now in fact we don't have to provide any. So the market here has decided that they don't need as many car parks. They're walking distance to both a bus and a train, and into Green Lane, and even into Newmarket if you're fit and healthy.
And I guess if you're the neighbour here, on the left-hand side there, you might want to do the same thing.
Yeah, so on one hand, yes, there are going to be some effects from shading, but the other hand, your property has increased in value, and this is the new normal. So we have to expect that these buildings are going to be built, but you can do the same thing. So yeah, this whole block, all the way down to that countdown, has a very similar zone. So you're going to see more and more buildings popping up that look like that.
Nice. And Remuera, so if we head out to Remuera, now this is probably a street we've all driven down. And if we go to the next slide here, this is what you reckon. So that's
So this is almost the heart of Newmarket. The site where you've just clicked on there is steps from the Newmarket railway station, 100 metres from Broadway. So this is right in the hustle, 27 metre height limit, and we're going to get 80 to 90 apartments on that site. So you're going to see a lot more people walking. You can walk to 277. You don't have to find a car park. You can hop on the train at Britomart. You can go to the movie theatres at the Rialto. You can swim in the pools. You can go and have a beer at Lumsden Green. Hey, your whole life is right at your doorstep.
And if you need to go further than that, you've got Uber.
You've got Uber, you've got taxis, you can hire a car, or you can have a car park in the building.
So look, that's all really real life examples. It's awesome. What are the things, so in terms of what you can, if you're checking out a potential site, right? Of course you come to someone like me, the mortgage man, and do your numbers, but you also offer a service for checking out a site?
Yeah, we can, for a small fee, we can provide a formal site review that goes through the various unitary plan requirements, the zones, any overlays that may apply. We can then go through the GIS, the geographical services, to see your flooding, any issues with drainage, and we can make an assessment on what, for us, is a guess of how many units you might get on there. Mm-hmm. You made a very good point. You're calling yourself a lowly mortgage broker, but I think it's really important for people to be surrounded by good teams. So from you with the finance, for us shuffling the paper and getting that through council, a good real estate agent to be able to guide what should go on a site, and then the other consultants, your architects and your engineers, to go with you. Because I don't think it's something you want to do, you don't want to take on lightly, this development. You want to make sure you've got a good team of people with you. You want to know that it's bankable, you want to know that it's saleable, and you want to know that it's consentable.
Yeah, and I guess the key thing is that there's a lot that can be done now, and I think there's a lot of opportunities out there as well, right? Because you've got sites which are more easier to whack on a couple of properties on, being sold at similar prices to sites which you might have to do a bit more work on.
Yeah, and I think it's really careful with site selection. So you're right, the whole of Auckland has been rezoned, but you're going to have sites that face south, you're going to have sites that sit in flood zones, you're going to have sites with soil instability, and you're going to have sites that don't have access to public services. So really we want to avoid those, but it's not like there's a shortage of sites. And I think what's also important is that what we've shown you is a series of medium to large scale developments. There's also opportunities at a much smaller level. They might be adding a minor dwelling unit up to 65 square metres. They might be cutting your existing house in half, so you've got two rental streams or incomes. They may be, if you're out west and you've got a house with a minor dwelling, you may cut that in half and end up with two titles. So you can remortgage and revalue. So there are very few places where we can't find an opportunity from the very small to the very large. Just today we had an example where a client came to us and they want to stick a little one bedroom house on the back of their site. They want to rent that out. They want it initially for their teenagers, but then they want to be able to rent it out. We've said to them there's no problems with them going ahead with that. They don't even need to provide a car park. So at all levels, from that Newmarket example we gave you, all the way through to adding a small one bedroom unit at the back of your property, all of these things are now possible.
Yeah, well, hey, look, thank you for listening, guys. I think if we're going to add a link to this live, which you can probably see on your screen, and yeah, you just head over there and you can find all the contact details for Hamish Firth and his business. And
I hope you're going to put your details up.
And I'll put my details there, of course, mortgagesonline.co.nz. But yeah, and stay warm out there, I guess. It's getting cold. Stay warm.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.